And here we are. I'm going to join a Mages Guild while I'm here. And hopefully sell some stuff.
Hello there. Are you here to join the Mages Guild?
Bloody hell, you're very enthusiastic, aren't you?
The guild is always accepting new members. You seem capable enough. Are you sure you want to join?
Yes, please. I would love to join.
Very good. You are now an associate of the Mages Guild. What a wonderful opportunity for you. Now, please keep in mind that you'll need recommendations from every local guild hall in Cyrodiil before you may enter the Arcane University. I dare say my opinion might carry more weight than others, if you take my meaning. Still, all are necessary to proceed. Good luck to you.
Right. While we're here, do the recommendation.
From me? Well, of course. Raminus would naturally want my opinion, wouldn't he?
You seem very
This
full of
is a
yourself.
situation we can both benefit from, associate. You do me a small favour, and I'll happily send along a glowing recommendation.
Alright.
If you can find Jaskar, I'll write the recommendation immediately.
Fantastic. Jaskar.
He's disappeared. I mean, he's really disappeared. No one here has seen him in days. Volinaro thinks maybe a spell backfired. If someone from the council were to stop by and find him gone, it'd look bad for me. I can't have that. Talk to the mages here and see what you can find out. If you can make Jaskar reappear, you'll have your recommendation.
See, I love this quest because Volinara and
Please come
Jaskar
find me
are
as
they're
soon as you've
absolutely
located
brilliant.
Jaskar.
She's very full of herself and very, what's the word? She just seems to be a bit, like, only cares about herself and no one else. Which is why Volinaro and Jaskar play up and joke about. Again, they're brilliant. Nice bit of clipping there.
Good evening.
Where
What is it?
Okay. Alright, where's Volinaro? There you are, and there's Jaskar.
Go away. You'll ruin everything.
Yeah, he's invisible.
Volinaro. It's... You want... All right.
Okay, what is it?
That's the spirit. You helped me. With all due respect, she couldn't cast her way out of a paper sack. It's insulting that we're here, working for her, when she knows nothing. She's managed to butter up the right people just enough to keep her position, and there's little we can do about it. But we have our ways of coping with the situation.
I do like this guy.
Really? You're going to love this. I'll teach you a spell to unlock things. What you need to do is get into Jean's desk and bring me her manual of spellcraft, okay? Her room is upstairs.
Right, let's do this. And I
Let
should
me
have
know
minor
when
latch
you're done
crack.
with that
Yep.
little
Another reason why I came to Bruma was for that spell. So useful. And I do really need to go to a merchant as soon as I can. Right, let us minor latch crack and let's hotkey that onto 7. Sneak to make sure Jean doesn't come up and find us nosing around. And yeah, there we go. Got the manual of spellcraft.
Well met.
Hello, and Volinaro.
Have you pulled...
Yes, I've pulled a prank.
You've got Jean's book, I see. I hope I can... Bye.
What time is it? 8:35 PM. You know what? Let's loiter around for a bit. Let's loiter for 2 hours.
Ready to find...
I am ready.
Just watch.
Hello, Jaskar.
Hello there. I hear you've been looking for me.
Oh, please don't be mad. We were just having some fun.
They're like kids. They're brilliant.
We just got tired of Jean lording her position over us when she barely knows anything about magic. Every now and then, we like to trick her.
The little laugh.
We figured it was time to move on to a new prank. This one was getting boring anyway, so you can tell her.
Alright, brilliant. Let's go and find Jean.
You too.
Anytime now.
And she just... Yo.
Any luck finding just...
Found him.
Found him, did you? Well, I suppose that's good. You'll have to forgive me. I seem to have misplaced something. Yes, well, let's never mind that. You've fulfilled your end of the bargain, though, so I'll fulfill mine. Ramanus will have my recommendation. And don't you forget about me once you've finished your training. I'm sure we can help each other out.
Yeah, no. I'm good.
Be seeing
You have about as much talent in magic as a potato. Right, so I'm going to sell my stuff. Maybe not. I'm going to have a nap for the night.
there.
And I think now would be a good enough time as any to actually read this book. To get my illusion skill, which I don't actually major in. Let us sleep for 9 hours. Which means it should be about 6, 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock. I've heard a rumour that a strange doorway has appeared on a small island in the Nibbin Bay. I should investigate. I cannot talk today. I keep slurring all my words. Please excuse me. Right, time is... Right, so I got a bit of time. Let's sit down. And it's probably not the best idea, considering I can't actually talk at the moment. But let us read Immortal Blood. Immortal Blood by Anonymous. The moons and stars were hidden from sight, making that particular quiet night especially dark. The town guard had to carry torches to make their rounds, but the man who came to call at my chapel carried no light with him. I came to learn that Movarth Pequine could see in the dark almost as well as the light, an excellent talent, considering his interests were exclusively nocturnal. One of my acolytes brought him to me, and from the look of him, I, at first, thought he was in need of healing. He was pale, to the point of opalescence, with a face that looked like it had once been very handsome, before some unspeakable suffering. The dark circles under his eyes bespoke exhaustion, but the eyes themselves were alert, intense, almost insane. He quickly dismissed my notion that he himself was ill, though he did not want to discuss a specific disease. Vampirism, he said, and then paused at my quizzical look. I was told that you were someone I should seek out for help understanding it. Who told you that? I asked with a smile. Tessina Grey. I immediately remembered her, a brave, beautiful knight who had needed my assistance separating fact from fiction on the subject of the vampire. It had been 2 years, and I had never heard whether my advice was proved effective. You've spoken to her? How is her ladyship? I asked. Dead, Movarth replied coldly, and then responded to my shock. He added to perhaps soften the blow. She said your advice was invaluable, at least for the one vampire. When last I talked to her, she was tracking another. It killed her. Then the advice I gave her was not enough, I sighed. Why do you think it would be enough for you? I was a teacher once myself years ago, he said. Not in a university, a trainer in a fighters guild. But I know that if a student doesn't ask the right questions, the teacher cannot be responsible for his failure. I intend to ask you the right questions. And that he did. For hours he asked questions and I answered what I could. But he never volunteered any information about himself. He never smiled. He only studied me with those intense eyes of his, committing every word I said to memory. Finally I turned the questioning around. You said you were a trainer at the Fighters Guild. Are you on an assignment for them? No, he said curtly, and finally I could detect some wariness in those feverish eyes of his. I would like to continue this tomorrow night, if I could. I need to get some sleep and absorb this. You sleep during the day, I smiled. To my surprise, he returned the smile. There was more of a grimace. When tracking your prey, you adapt to their habits. The next day he did return, with more questions, these ones very specific. He wanted to know about the vampires of Eastern Skyrim. I told him about the most powerful tribe, the Volkihar, paranoid and cruel, whose very breath could freeze their victims' blood in their veins. I explained to him how they live beneath the ice of remote and haunted lakes, never venturing into the world of men except to feed. Movarth Bequine listened carefully and asked more questions into the night, until at last he was ready to leave. I will not see you for a few days, he said, but I will return and tell you how helpful your information has been. True to his word, the man returned to my chapel shortly after midnight 4 days later. There was a fresh scar on his cheek, but he was smiling, that grim but satisfied smile of his. Your advice helped me very much, he said. But you should know the Volkihar have an additional ability you didn't mention. They can reach through the ice of their lakes without breaking it. It was quite a nasty surprise being grabbed from below without any warning. How remarkable, I said with a laugh. And terrifying. You're lucky you survived. I don't believe in luck. I believe in knowledge, in training. Your information helped me, and my skill at melee combat sealed the bloodsucker's fate. I've never believed in weaponry of any kind. Too many unknowns. Even the best swordsmith has created a flawed blade. But you know what your body is capable of. I know I can land 1,000 blows without losing my balance, provided I get the first strike. The first strike, I murmured, so you must never be surprised. That is why I came to you, said Movarth. You know more than anyone alive about these monsters, in all their cursed varieties across the land. Now you must tell me about the vampires of Northern Valenwood. I did as he asked, and once again his questions taxed my knowledge. There were many tribes to cover, the Bonsamu, who were indistinguishable from Bosmer, except when seen by candlelight, the Carilf, who could disintegrate into mist, the Yakef, who swallowed men whole, and the dread Telboth, who preyed on children, eventually taking their place in the family, waiting patiently for years before murdering them all in unnatural hunger. Once again he bade me farewell, promising to return in a few weeks, and once again he returned, as he said, just after midnight. This time Movarth had no fresh scars, but he again had new information. You were wrong about the Carilf, being unable to vaporize when pushed underwater, he said, patting my shoulder fondly. Fortunately, they cannot travel far in their mist form, and I was able to track it down. It must have surprised it fearfully. Your field knowledge is becoming impressive, I said. I should have had an acolyte like you decades ago. Now, tell me, he said, of the vampires of Cyrodiil. I told him what I could. There was but one tribe in Cyrodiil, a powerful clan who had ousted all other competitors, much like the Imperials themselves had done. Their true name was unknown, lost in history, but they were experts at concealment. If they kept themselves well fed, they were indistinguishable from living persons. They were cultured, more civilized than the vampires of the provinces, preferring to feed on victims while they were asleep, unaware. They will be difficult to surprise, Movarth frowned. But I will seek one out, and tell you what I learn, and then you will tell me of the vampires of High Rock and Hammerfell, and elsewhere, and Blackmarsh, and Morrowind, and the Somerset Isles, yes? I nodded, knowing then that this was a man on an eternal quest. He wouldn't be satisfied with the barest hint of how things were. He needed to know it all. He did not return for a month, and on the night that he did, I could see his frustration and despair, though there were no lights burning in my chapel. I failed, he said, as I lit a candle. You were right, I could not find a single one. I brought the light up to my face and smiled. He was surprised, even stunned by the pallor of my flesh, the dark hunger in my ageless eyes, and the teeth. Oh, yes. I think the teeth definitely surprised the man who could not afford to be surprised. I haven't fed in 72 hours, I explained, as I fell on him. he did not land the first blow, or the last. Now, it's a very interesting book, the Immortal Blood, because you actually fight the vampire Movarth in Skyrim 200 years after the events of the Oblivion Crisis.
I'm listening. Please go ahead.
I'm good. Right. Now let us go to the shop.
How are you?
I think there's one up here. Just to the left. Northern... Nope. To the right. Novaroma. Yeah, sure. Whatever. As long as I can sell my stuff to you.
Yes?
You seem cheery.
I'm Surotan, proud owner of Novaroma, a little piece of Heartland Empire here in the lofty...
I see.
I offer the finest goods and lowest prices in all Cyrodiil.
Let's haggle a little bit. Go up to 50% of value. Hopefully he,
That's a fair...
yeah, decent. Sell you, sell you. Just trying to get a little bit of
You've
money.
made a good bit of gold.
I hope so. Let's sell these restore fatigue potions, because I don't actually need to use these.
That... You...
Good thing as well, because I'm upping my mercantile skill by doing all of this.
That's a good deal.
Sell bound helmet.
A fine transaction.
I have the deed to Frostcrag, which I need to go and visit at some point. Let's get rid of... Sell 8 of them, so I get left with 10. Because that way, at least I have a bit of money.
That's a...
And also a bit of magicka regeneration.
You drop a good price for a good customer.
Alright. Thing is, that is like free encumbrance I don't really want, but I love the Mythic Dawn robes. I can always pick them up at another point if I really want, to be fair. Might just do that. I'll just give you that. Alright, thank you very much for your patronage. I am now down to 103.
Hey.
And then there's Northwinds. Alright, I think this is as good a place as any to end the first episode. Well, this won't be the first episode because I'm going to be splitting all of this up into different segments, each 10-minute segments for you guys. Or that's what I plan to do. But this is the end of my first recording session. So this is going to be chapter 1 and making my way to Bruma. So thank you very much guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy each episode, and I can't wait to see you next time. Peace.